Karibuni sana. Very good morning to you this beautiful Tuesday morning towards the tail end of Feb. Kila mtu tunangojea sana. Feb isha, at least mshahara ingie. Mwacheni Mungu aitwe Mungu. Right, so today, of course, every Tuesday we like to talk about different issues, and today we're talking about something very interesting. If you are a man, come closer. If you are a woman, come closer as well. You might understand a thing or two. Non-Sizi, Agnes is with us hapa.
How are you?
Uko aje?
Niko salama.
Mpenda luku. Viatu pia ziko sawa. Let me tell you, the shoes.
Kuna shukam.
The shukam, no, ni vile mwenye shukam anafanya kazi ingine. But eventually tutapata. But it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Shatter boy.
Ule mudia ngara.
Uko in the area?
Yeah man.
Yeah man.
Feeling aire?
Feeling aire.
Whole life thing man.
CJ, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, you're good?
Yes, I am.
Everything is okay?
Yes.
Liverpool notwithstanding? Ukiona a man of prayer haombei timu yake.
Mkubwa.
Unajua ni kufa.
Watu wanasemanga vitu zingine wacha kusumbua Mungu.
Yeah. That's exactly what my father used to say. And DNG.
Yes, sir.
Ako kwenye Skype. How are you doing?
Niko sawa kabisa. Wewe vipi?
Mimi niko sawa. You had a good week?
Yes, wiki imekuwa salama. Tumeanza vizuri. Mungu ni mwema.
Amina. All right, so today we're talking about, what TD Jakes actually coined the phrase. He called it emotions, which is basically men's emotions, and why it is difficult for men to open up and talk. And and where it is. So that's the question of the day. You see it there on the screen. Why do you think it is hard for men to open up? Why do you think it is hard for men to open up? SMS 22422, hashtag is Daybreak. You can tweet us on @Citizen TV Kenya. That is the question of the day, as you can see there on your screens. Those are the platforms that you can reach us. Open up. If you are a lady, tell us why you think so. And if you're a man, tell us why you don't open up when you have problem. Yeah, so today,
Of course, yeah, this one.
because the way you're looking at me, you already have uko na tu vitu nataka ku. CJ, I don't know if you face this difficulty as well, having cancelled several people. Is it difficult generally? Why do you think it's difficult generally for men to open up?
Well, it's a trust issue, mostly.
Themselves? Or?
I always say this, that men want to feel safe for them to open up. It's more about the environment and the perception after. What do you want them to open up about? You know, it's easy for men to open up about very superficial things. When it's personal, when it is struggles, when there are things perceived to be weakness, they find difficulty in that because the environment may not be very conducive for them to do that. They're thinking, how will somebody look at me or perceive me after they know that I am not all that? The phrase "be the man" is nearly something that is supposed to mean that you've got to be strong and you've got to be tough.
Macho man.
So the challenge for men is this, that when you show emotion, you're considered weak. When you don't, you're considered mean. So they have this conflict over here. Yeah. They don't know what to do with their emotions. And they have to feel very comfortable. But men do open up in safe places. In
safe places. And we'll talk about DNG. What in your view do you think is the reason why inakwanga ngumu mwanaume kusema ai DNG mazemi naumia napitia bana?
First and foremost, bana, really the upbringing is a problem. Katika maadili ya Kiafrika.
Umesema maadili. Tupeleke pole pole.
Tukiwa watu wadogo unalia kama kijana kwanza ndio unapigwa zaidi. Boys do not cry. Boys don't cry. Something has been ingrained in us, and we understand that as a result, we're not supposed to show any feelings, any emotions. We're not allowed to. Bana, unaonesha watu ma feelings kama nani? Wewe kwani msichana? That is the challenge. Therefore, men, because of that, we pile up our emotions, we pile up our feelings until one day, it explodes.
And that is the problem right there, when it explodes. And since I'm coming to you, when you're going to ask a specific question. Shut up.
Yeah,
in your view, this is something we've talked about before also on radio. But in your view, why do you think generally, before you go into the specifics, wanaume, they don't open up that easily?
Number one, they don't know it is their right to open up. Wanafikiriaga na wanaibia. You see? Because no one has ever taken the time to tell a man that it is okay to open up. You get? And they consider it a weapon. If a man is opening up to you, they at some point they will feel that, in fact, ashawahi na akatakiwa nayo later on, they feel this is a weapon I'm giving anyone against me. Because anytime I get into an argument, this will be used against me. So for that reason, I won't harm you. I won't give you artillery to attack me. So wacha nijiwekee tu ndani yangu.
So there are two things that have been mentioned across these conversations.
Yeah.
There is what CJ has said. Well, one major thing. CJ said men open up in safe spaces.
Yes.
But we also told people women want to be safe and secure. So
Yes.
Sasa, where is the balance? Why do you think men don't open up, especially to their girl child, to their women?
Like CJ said, it's about trust. It's about trust. And you see, trust is not something you gain in a day or two. As you advance in a relationship or a marriage, you figure out that someone is able to slowly be able to open up to you. But in the initial stages, you don't know this person. And like Shatta said, you don't know if this will be used against you in the court of arguments. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, I mean, men should open up, and it's really, really highly recommended. This thing of man up, don't tear, don't do whatever, but it's a safe space. So, the question is, what is that safe space for a man to open up? Is it counseling? I know some men are very... unapeleka nani? Mimi. You think I have a problem? You take me. Yeah, so what is that safe space? Because your partner should be probably the first person, but again, relationships are different. That should be the ideal situation, I know. But what I think the question is, what is the safe space? But also, men who struggle, actually most men who struggle to open up, they also don't know how to deal with our emotions as women. So me, I just come crying at night because I had a bad day. Then you don't know what to do with me. So they just don't know how to deal with their emotions.
Yeah.
Even now with our emotions, and you know, women are very one time I just come rant and we are done. But
over.
You don't know how to even. You're looking at me like, do I hug you? No.
Yeah.
What do I
hold
do?
your hand?
What do I do?
Do I speak to you?
Yeah.
All right. And so in that regard then, CJ, why would men rather, instead of going to talk to their partner, they go to the bar, for example, and drink the problems away, or sit in the parking lot and drink the problems away, especially if the problem is in the house. But, but why would they rather do that, do you think?
You know, relationships are very interesting because when a man relates with a woman, there's this responsibility he has over this woman, one, to protect her. So generally, a man will feel he needs to protect this woman by all means. Now, if he's going to talk to her and it's going to raise issues, he would rather not talk. It's not because he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want issues. So you'll see men who have been either married or they've related for a while, they nearly look tame because they've somehow been domesticated. They will avoid trouble at all points because he loves, so he doesn't want to fight with what he loves. He would rather be quiet, which again will be misunderstood because then the other person will be thinking, you don't love me anymore, that's why you're not talking to me and you're not paying attention to me. But the guy is avoiding trouble. So
there's a false sense of, like you said, men are trying to protect, so they're protecting them from him. Even himself or protecting the other person?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Well, it depends on what needs to be opened up about.
Okay.
I think we have to actually define that.
Right.
Because in a sense, we always say ladies open up, but I'll tell you about so many things apart from specific things like if they've fallen in love with somebody else outside of that. You know, it's easy to catch a man who's cheating. It's easier to catch a man who's cheating than a lady. It's easier to put a man on the spot for them to open up that they are seeing somebody else than to put a lady on the spot. They will not admit that. They can open up about a bad day at work and about who hurt them elsewhere. But when it gets to those kind of things as well, they don't. So what you are opening up about will determine how this person is going to handle this. If it is going to raise issues and temperatures in the house, they're going to fight, or maybe their partner is going to reactivate, they would rather just keep quiet, you know, or go and open up to somebody where there are no stakes, like what you're talking about in the bar, and sit over there, just drink. Then this random lady will come, or the barman, or whatever.
Barman have assistants. They're called shorts.
They're called all shorts.
Barman, ati kweli. So, okay. So you think you're getting better, but really you're getting higher. Didn't she? Since you mentioned something in her statement, she said that sometimes when, especially if you're related for long, and I think CJ said it, or when you're married, then it becomes difficult to open about certain things. Do you think that some of these things should be opened up about, and now we'll get to the specific of the things to be opened up about, as CJ said, before you get into like a marriage or start living together, etc.?
Firstly, you know, we need to understand what the problem is. So the problem is that men have just been inculcated just to show strength, and opening up is perceived as a sign of weakness. So even in a relationship, you know, what happens is that as a man, you shield yourself, and therefore also shielding your partner from those kind of issues, as we say it. So, you know, but what should be done in a healthy relationship is communication. And if you're trying to build a healthy relationship, then you have to open up to your partner, you have to talk to them. For example, if you're dealing with financial trouble, instead of like just carrying that cross on your own and being quiet about it and going through drama, always coming home drunk, and the wife is like, "Kwani, what's up with this guy?" You'd rather just come out and say, "Hey, as a busy coaching, and let it be. You have to leeway. You know, it's healthier. You pile up less, and also, you know, I think women would also appreciate that line of communication where you're asking for help. As a man, I think in today's generation, you should not fear asking for help. You know, if you do not ask, you do not receive. Perhaps even the help you need is right there next to you in your home.
All right. Sometimes it is help. Sometimes it is not. Shatter boy.
Yeah, man.
One of the things that you know you mentioned there immediately, and I've also had it. Na nonsense mwenyewe, manake wanajijua. If you say something, let's say maybe nilikuwa nimechapwa, I was being physically abused as a child or whatever. And then later on in an argument, kitu ifanyike usikie, ndio maana ulikuwa unafanywa hivyo. Ndio maana baba yako alikuwa anafanywa hivyo. Women use this thing as an arsenal. Do you think that is one of the major contributors vile umesema, and what should be done that tutaopen up kwa nani kama mtu wetu anatukashifu? Nilisikia hapa during some kituko akisema the last bullet. Sasa unapeana mabullet zako zote.
Acha nikwambie ukweli tu, maybe watu wengi wanaweza kataa. Men open up actually to ladies, but not your lady.
Why?
Because maybe probably the things you need to open up about are things that she's part of. Inaweza kuwa ni yeye amekupeleka kwa point.
And this is not about like unfaithfulness.
Na sio unfaithfulness. Yes. Utapata tu kuna mtu mnaongeaga naye kama sister yako. Anakuelewaga tu na hakuna.
Somebody should get nonsense his face.
Unaona? Sasa mimi nakwambia ukweli. Na sio ati ni unfaithfulness, but ukiongea na udem utapata perspective ya madem void of emotions. Unaget, utampatia scenario, atakujibu, utai-understand vile mtu wako angekuambia. Mtu wako akikwambia atakwambia na emotions. Zile maybe mmekosana. Unaelewa? That is something that it happens everywhere, man. Unapata unaongea na mdem, maybe hata ni job. Unaiulizaga kama third party. Ndio upate opinions zao. Unaelewa? Men open up as a third party. Wanaona opening up kama third party. Maana kuna best yangu anapitia hii na hii na hii. Unaona anaje kwa hiyo ungedu. Sasa kijana kuambia unajua hiyo ndio reasoning yake. So inafaa kwenda hivi. Unaelewa? Another thing, kuna vitu kwa mtaa society kama zile joke unaona kwa mtandao, mwanaume ni kujifunika na kofia. Unaona? Mwanaume ni yani vitu zinafanyanga mwanaume akae beast. Unaget na the most, you see, if you want people to believe something, keep hammering it in their heads. They will believe it. So society inakwanga imemake hivyo, tunakaa ni joke, mwanaume ni jasho, mwanaume ni this. Unapata unatolewa the human part of you. The human part of you inatolewa. Yani you're being made to appear like a beast.
Yes.
Unaget? By so doing, hata ukienda ku open up, una feel sasa I am not being that person that society describes. Unaelewa? Alafu if you are pia, I think kama ni ku open up, mostly we go in bars to open up because we can dismiss it as drunk talk. Tunaenda nitakwambia ukweli zangu.
Siba lewe uende uongee nyumbani.
Sasa unaona nyumbani saulikagi bro.
Let me tell you.
Hata ishie kwa ba. Hata kesho tukipatana na wewe uniambie hata uliniambia uko na shida tukamwambia nimeelewa bro. Unaona nita dismiss.
So one, we are forgetting that we are talking in the capacity of a relationship, yes. But imagine there's a man somewhere, a young man who is going through a lot of struggles in life. There's no job, you have rent to pay, you have people to support you, even you yourself, you have yourself to support, and they don't even know how, you know, to let this out, because I think the way we've been grown up, and that's the thing. Men are generally told not to. It's a sign of weakness. But you see, forget even relationships. I think in this tire, let's say they are in the list. You know, here ni jamaa na jaribu. You know, you see the issues that are affecting the young people. Could youth in? So how do they go about it? Who do they go to? Who do they talk to? Leave alone even relation. Hata ujaoa. Sasa hata utaoa na nini? Unaona? Nilisikia sasa mtu ana shop dowry. Una shop dowry kama quotation unachukua kwa kina nonsense unachukua kwa kina. No, leave alone even that. Yes. The fact that life is generally hard, and it's hard, and that's why we're seeing outbursts. The government is not doing this. You're blaming your parents. How
but
do
your government, now, if they're not doing, they're not doing.
No,
whether they're stressed or not.
But you see, that's the thing. There needs to be a place for them to be able. And I'm glad churches are trying. I mean, I've seen churches doing it. Because there needs to be a place for where girls hang out. I don't know if young men, when they hang out, they talk about what I'm going through really is.
Sisi sana uningumu. But siku hizi there are some sort of wanaanza kuongea.
Even the ones in high school.
I'd like to get the perspective of what Shatta said, you know, that it is easier for a man to open up to a lady, but not his lady.
It's gonna be opening up for a while, then it's gonna grow to another thing. That's why you hear, if I'm married to someone, then
what they call it, emotional.
It's pillow talk. We call it pillow. Then some things okay, you're like, at what point did you tell another woman this? It's pillow talk. It's that party opinion until it's not that party opinion.
Inakuwa the only party.
It is the only.
Just a party.
So
it's a party.
You might think it's safe to start with until it's not.
Yeah. But how come there is no platonic relationships? Lazima tu kukuwe na kakiru. DNG, mtu hawezi tu ongea na mtu bila kitu.
Lakini nonsense yako na point kali hapo Willis bana. It's dangerous. It's a slippery slope when you start bringing that other woman close man. Sooner than later wewe mtu zile unalia amekuhug, ilikuwa ni hug tight.
Unalia.
Ilikuwa ni kiss. Ilikuwa ni oi. Regrets. So let's be real and honest with ourselves man. You guys, I think even when you talk about opening up in the bar, how much do we really open up in the bar? Yes, in the bar is easier because there's less inhibition because you're drunk or tipsy. But opening up to vitu squad home, let's say home ni normal kukaliko na mambo tu manze tunapitia tu mambo but chapo tu sawa 50 cheers. Alafu inaisha hapo so
50.
That is like sweeping up the matter under the carpet.
Yeah.
And one thing, Willis, you need to talk about this morning is what are the consequences of not showing your emotions and not opening up? You know, what are the consequences?
Yeah, I think we'll end it with that.
Mental health challenges, stress, depression. We've seen guys committing suicide just because they had bottled up so much. Those things can be averted and can be prevented.
All right, well, we need to remind you guys of the question of the day so that even our digital team can put it up. So it is this. It is, why do you think it is hard for men to open up? SMS 22422 or use the hashtag Daybreak. Why do you think it's hard for men to open up? Before Shatta, I want to
kitu tu.
Yes.
Unaona hiyo part nimesema ndo ieleweke. Hiyo part nimesema Charlie anaweza open up to dem mwingine. I'm not saying it is the right thing, but I'm saying it happens. You get, so it happens, and probably it will lead to an affair.
Yeah.
It can lead to an affair. Not necessarily, but chances are it will lead to an affair. You get, but it happens. Unaelewa? So there is a story to go up and to discuss. Now that it happens, na inafanyaga watu hivi na hivi na hivi, what is the alternative? You get, it happens, but it is not the right thing.
And also, can it be purely platonic? Ya kwamba tusema
Well, it depends on a lot of factors, because it could start as platonic. Then, at some point, somebody might hit a pothole, and then the emotions will be all over the place. So, it's really dependent on a lot of factors as well. But I believe in what he's saying, because I say that all the time, that the secrets of women are with men, and the secrets of men are with women, just not their women. Just not their women, because the stakes are lower there. You know, it's easier for Shutterboy to tell Non-Sizzy that I have a child out of wedlock somewhere, and she will try to bring in perspective. He will not face the consequences of that confession. But if you say this to your partner, first of all, you'll do rounds around your house just thinking of how do you even bring up this story over here. You want to open up, but you feel the consequences are going to be great, so you don't. The general thing, Will, is even as we were talking, I'm just thinking, because I've got some teenage boys, and generally, they try to just recline. They don't want to talk. You know, at a certain stage in development, boys go quiet. And I think that's where we lose them. We lose them because we don't draw them into conversations when they go into the cocoon of silence. Girls, as they grow, they become more assertive, more conversational. So they're talking. But the men, you see a boy coming from high school, from when he comes from from boarding, and he comes home, he's just quiet, and people would say, nah, he's chilled out. That's the point where we begin losing boys, because we don't try to draw conversations from them. And then, you know, they have these one-word answers and monosyllables.
You need a whole master class. Parenting boys.
So at that point, we have to really try to engage them, to speak more, to speak about the things they feel, to speak about how their days have been. Because generally what happens, their friends begin to determine their conversations. So how they will dress, their hairstyles, everything they're doing is about how they'll be perceived by their friends.
That circle.
And when the parents and the family do not pay attention to these boys, you begin losing them to peer pressure. That is where now the pressure of you have to act in a certain way. How could you get hurt in the pitch and cry, you know, and they're laughing at you? How could you wear yellow, you know, or pink, or something like that? If we don't reaffirm and have conversations with this man while they're still in teenage, he's not going to be talking when he's 30. Because we have lost him, and silence has become a very comfortable place. So it's not just that men don't like to talk. We have to converse with them. The people around men need to allow them to speak about even the most simple thing, the simplest of things. How they feel is important. We shouldn't brush it off because we feel, but you're a man, you should not feel like that. That is how that person feels.
Even, and it's this the most irritating thing, even in funerals, you see that we have this thing of a man can't tear up. You know, where unalia nini man up. I mean, I'm going through grief. Surely, this grief doesn't segregate whether you're a man or a woman. Loss is loss. You know, I mean, I don't say you cry in public. If you cry in public, that's fine. Whoever will judge will judge. But can you? I mean, I'm like, whatever.
See, you're already putting the pressure.
Okay, fine. Cry. Fine. Which camera am I on? Cry.
You're already creating trouble.
Okay, I don't know.
No, but you understand where I'm coming from.
But let me ask you, is it also true that while we are here telling men open up, open up,
Yeah.
women don't know how to deal with men's emotions because society mefundisha men to be strong and to perceive women as men should be strong.
Yeah.
So mwanaume kuja kwambia lakini mazee I'm hurting ABC. Do women know how to deal with men's emotions?
I think
or rather they are women.
They are women.
Hey,
you know, listen, I think what men need is don't give me solutions.
I've got to sit right here.
don't give solutions. Like, hey, listen, hey, you are conned. Hey, don't tell me where don't. I think that when a man decides just to come to you, and even as a third party, the platonic thing that Shatta is talking about, before you ask for an opinion, listen first. And actually, it's for everyone. When someone probably they come to you, they just don't even want a solution. They just want you to listen. So listen as they pour that. Ama, you want to take a solution?
Uko sawa, uko sawa.
No, unataka solution.
Unaelewa kitu bro? Yani ndio dema kaya chini ya kusikiliza umwambie shida zako ziishe. Kama haja kukata katikati anza kupatia opinion zake. Hii unafaa urekodi hiyo siku. Uweke hivi kwa diary useme it happened.
Therapist wako.
Yani uliongea ikaisha. Na yani sometimes you just want to be listened to.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Sikiza tu.
Unaanzaga kuongea hivi nifika katikati anakukata. Sasa every time anakwaga kizirelate. Any day you have an issue anataka kurelate nayo. Any day you say this anataka kurelate na zile tuliongea. You will never have a new issue. Even if it's a new issue with you, she will relate it to the things you said. Unaget? Another thing, unaona vile hata mmesema kwa grief. Kama sisi tukigrow tulikuwa tunaambiwa men mourn later. At first we handle the situation. We do the everything ishe, then sisi baadaye
the time it will catch up
will
with
go
you.
mourn later. You get? But sasa unajua ina pile because the moment hiyo later inafika kitu kingine pia isha happen that you maybe need to grieve over. Unaelewa? So kuna hizo zimepile. Unfortunately unakuja kupatana sasa na mdem na unataka kumwambia zote at once. Pia sisi lazima tu understand that fact that sahi mimi kuanza ku open up kwa mdem nimemeet na yeye recently nitamburden bro. Nikianza kumfungulia vitu za kwanza nikiwa high school.
How come?
Juu nimezipa yeye
atakuopen na yeye date 3.
Unajua kwa nini? Yeye
open up. They normally sneak it in kina nonsense ya date. Another kumwambia, yeah, Maza, you know me, I believe that people are supposed to upright, like I was telling my 3 kids the other day. That sometimes
come again.
They just sneak it into a conversation.
Tunaona sasa yeye uzuri yake ni nini? Through sneak in, yeye sneak in vitu mingi over the time. So ukimit na yeye I need to open up na vitu za kuanzia high school. Amekuwa open up, amekuwa kiziongea. So akona issues za juzi amekuwa sneak in.
Kwa
conversations mingi you know get. So akikamkuongelesha atakuongelesha issues za job, vitu za kama maybe 3 months ago, but wewe ujai kuwa na hiyo safe space umempata leo. Unaanza kumfungulia diary high school hadi pale umefika. Hizo vitu zitakuwa mingi hata yeye mwenyewe kuziprocess. Unaelewa?
Danger, just want to get your thoughts on the same thing what I was asking on Cindy as well. As far as women, yes, they're sneaking it in, but do women really know how to handle men's emotions? Because like you said, we're in a society where we are told man up, be strong, usilie, unalia nini. So sasa mwanamke apate their man is crying. Do they know how to handle that emotion when a man cries?
I think how women try and comfort men is to embrace soft words, mapenzi. Anajaribu tu kudelete shida zako bana, but hata kutatulia. You see, if you're dealing with say problems at work, man, ukona kudosi tiaji, azee anakustress every day. Ukiambia wife yako had a bad day at work, she'll be like, oh, she'll either tell you we pray if she's a prayerful woman, or she'll give you a hug, ama atakupea food. Even though mama didn't want to deal with easy issues, but I think it's up to you as a man to deal with easy shida. Yes, opening up is healthy, and the saying goes, problem shared is a problem half solved. But after you share and you go through that part healing, it's up to you still to deal and tackle and navigate those rough waters. I think what we're saying is that as a dude you shouldn't just pile up your drama or your problems and not deal with them. You have to address them. You have to hold the bull by the horns and just tackle that challenge and deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, you're just procrastinating that problem. It never goes away. So heading now, tackle it and move on.
All right, tackling it And moving on is the formula.
How are we supposed to deal with men's emotions?
Oh,
we need that from elementary.
You see, he's sitting down and listening to you.
Me, I'm in preschool. Remember?
So yeah, what happens when how should a woman live? Because sometimes we say, oh, we can't share with the women, but they don't. Some don't know. They don't have a template of how to deal with a man who's emotional and crying. And
look, Wes, it's very interesting how women know how to deal with men before the men become their own. When they're still out there and dating, they're caring, they're listening, they're encouraging the man. They will, they'll encourage him over things that they're going through in their families, if they were abused by their parents or their fathers, if they went through trauma and something. There's a way these women will be acting while they're dating or when they're just beginning to catch up, which is part of the reason that will make this man come here and stick to this woman, because he feels she's supportive. Then when they get into a serious relationship, the roles switch. He's supposed to be the man. And part of that being the man now is no emotions, logic, provide, protect, and do the things that you need to do. If ladies just go back into the place where they started with the man, they probably will be more helpful to this person. You need to know when you're dealing with the man as your man, your husband or your boyfriend, or your father, and when you're dealing with the person that needs you emotionally at that particular point. Because, and Nonsense is looking at me this certain way, the thing is, the emotional need is just like gastronomical needs. Somebody has to eat. If they're hungry, if they're not eating from home, they will eat from elsewhere. If their needs are not being met at home, emotionally, they will have to be met somewhere else, because they cannot just push them away. If they bottle up all these things, they will play out somewhere else. Either this person then will project them either on the children or somebody else. There's no way you can wish away emotions. Somehow they've got to be expressed. Somehow those needs have got to be met. So trying to keep somebody whose emotional needs are not being met or whose negative emotions are not being expressed is just living with a time bomb.
All right, we have some tweets before. Let's take a look at some tweets and what you guys are saying, or girls and girls. Joan Shikigwa says it's because they don't like Hurumiwa, or rather they don't want to be branded names. The question he asks is, why do you think men don't open up? Marcin Dungu says men refuse to open up because patriarchy taught men mwanaume ni kuvumilia. Also, when a man goes against the norm and opens up, he faces ridicule for not being an African man, although siku hizi kumeanza kubadilika. This is why depression and suicide is higher in men than in women. Astor 254 says it's hard because once he opens up, it will be used against him, just like in the court of law. Engineer Lazaro says men shouldn't just open up so easily. That's our uniqueness. Interesting. But Namasmeo says sometimes men do not understand what they feel. That's why we choose to hide our feelings. Falling in love is complex for majority of men. It's confusing emotions. When a man starts to feel overwhelmed by not understanding what's going on, he retreats to his man cave. That's those are the tweets that are there. Remember, you can still tweet us using the hashtag Daybreak. Send your SMS to 2242. We apologize. I'm told the live stream on Twitter at least imeanguka, lakini our IT department inajaribu kufanya hiyo mambo. So however, unaweza to watch kwa mali zingine. Ama si unaniona? Hashtag Daybreak 2242. Uliza swali yako.
Kwa nimeshikilia. So what I figured is most men are just waiting for you to be able to ask them if you're okay. Like you need to trigger. You get what I'm saying? I know you're not okay, but you're not opening up, and like I see you're not okay, but I don't know how to go around asking.
No, ukiniuliza uko okay aseme.
Yeah, are you okay? Fine. Yeah, that's all of us. Even
sometimes, now, that question sometimes sounds like a formality.
Yes, that's now how do you go about making
once
it...
you say you're fine, and like you're saying, you can see I'm not fine.
So how do we make it less formal? Is it, gosh, it's a breakfast show, but I mean, is it after they do the deed or...
No, after the deed, nasikianga ni time ya kuuliza mashamba.
Which is the ideal time? I mean, what are you supposed to do to get there? Because I think there has to be a route.
Shata wewe route yako inaweza kuwa gani?
Ama people are different.
Ya ku open up.
Yes, ya dem kukuuliza kama uko sawa na uongee, you actually
na nisi nikuulize by the uko sawa.
Alafu sema niko sawa.
Okay.
By default
number 1 naweza kuwa sijui hiyo route, pia mimi bado ni mwanaume ku open up ni balaa, but I know what is not the route. Yes. Unaona, for example ukiniuliza uko sawa.
It's not the route.
Why? Because ndo uniulize swali ushaona siko sawa. Una get ni sana umeenda kwa mtu akuulize utakula. Will you say yes? Hata kama uko na njia naturally utasema hapana, niko sawa. Una get kuna maswali zingine impolite. Una get so ukienda kwa mtu you ndo uniulize kama niko sawa ushaona siko sawa.
Umesema wenyewe.
If you are already getting to a point where you need to ask me, are you okay? It means I'm not okay. You get a way to talk to me. Just bring up the issues.
It out.
Yes.
If you can
we figure it out, we do it.
You do.
Umekuwa sneak in zako pia wewe sneak in yako vile itaingia. Another thing umeuliza about how to deal with men's emotions. Number 1, the questions you ask after a man opens up to you will determine kama ataendelea ku open up na wewe or not, or the things you say. Imagine you open up to a person afa kwambie I think you need to see a counselor. Na umemfungulia roho. Umemfungulia roho alafu akwambia I think you need to see a counselor. Huyo mtu amekusaidia mama amekwambia baba uko mbaya zaidi. Amekwambia you are worse of man. Yani pale ulikuwa unafikiria huko.
No, hold on.
I can't handle you.
Let me see. DNG, what do you think about that route? What do you think is the route?
DNG, what is the route?
Because Shata anasema
juu yake.
Juu yake.
Hapo open up ni ngumu bro.
What do you think?
Ni dangerous kidogo bwana. Kama uko na njaa Shata ukiuliza kama utakula kula tu bwana. Piga ugali. But yo, seriously, hey, I don't think this thing has a formula. As a woman, the woman has to just understand her partner because all men are different. Kuna wale ukimbrick kidogo atalia kabisa. Kuna wale hata ukimuuliza kako sawa anavumilia sime niko poa na yuko poa. So men are different. Learn your partner. By the time this is your man, yani you're cohabiting or you've started a family together, you should know him. So you should know how this guy likes to eat. There are those men who like to speak on Sundays. So wako na kababu pale nini ndio wanaopening up. So it's all about tact. Hata Biblia inasema woman should use tact and wisdom. So let the women engage that gear of tact and wisdom. But for the guys usiogope kuongea na partner wako. Usiogope ongea. And also I would believe it's safer to speak to that one partner than to speak to another woman who you're not very close with or in the bar. You never know because that's how you find these rumors unapatwa kwa gazeti imeandikwa this guy is being
what is
snitches are everywhere bana kipulacho kingoni mwako. So also opening up is a matter of trust. So do you really trust the person you're opening up to, giving them all this information about yourself and your personal struggles? That's the big question.
All right, so that is
Nonsense keeps on looking at me.
Because every time she has looked, she's adjusted, she's started left, right. Now she's
feeling like the whole burden again is coming back to the woman. I should figure out this man.
You see, it's just in at the point when the man is not okay, you are dealing with somebody who is like a patient. So it's not really that the burden is on the woman. If the woman was not okay, then we would tell the man to do the same. If the children are not okay, we would ask the parents to do the same. So this is a situation where you have somebody who is not fine. They're emotionally distraught.
They don't know how to get fine.
Sometimes they don't know how to get fine. So you're just helping them. You're trying to get them to become fine. So it is not supposed to be looked at as a burden or something that is just being put on you. Sometimes all you need to do is, okay, so Willis is in the car. No, he's sitting in the car. He doesn't want to talk. Why not just go and open the door of the car and sit over there and say nothing? You know, sit with him over there, say nothing. Like he wants to take a walk. Ask, can I take a walk with you? You know, and don't say anything. Because you're trying to make this person understand, I'm here willing to know what the issue is, and I'm willing to find a solution to it. But when you see the guy walk out and then you're like, okay, you just go ahead and walk whatever.
Na tena how comes wanajua, how comes your lady or your partner will know how to get almost everything from you.
Except
atajua kama anataka do kwako vile atakuongelesha umpe do. Kama anataka utepe na yeye, kama anataka umbaye kitu, kama anataka ufanye kitu, they know how to get you to do that. Si ndio? Mbona pia hiyo effort ameweka hapo asiache kujua how do I get Willis to talk. You see, it is just priority. You see, and value to something. Do you value this man's emotions? Okay, or do you think they'll be a burden to you? If you value this man's emotions, you will get a way to get this man to talk to you, because the things you value, you have found a way of living with him. You see, how to get him to do ABCD for you. Also get a way to get his emotions out. You see, it is just work that they need to put in.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the other thing. You have to put in. You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the work. Fired up, ready to go. One of the things though that has been mentioned there, somebody, I think it's even one of the last tweets that somebody put there. Huyu Chumvi Master tulikuwa naye Ombese. Ama tuweke. Niweke hiyo tweet ya Chumvi Master. Hiyo yenye kwa hapo kwa Tuandavo. So even as he puts it up, there is that thing. There it is. It says past experience hutumezeshea sana. Alafu the ladies need to understand the language their men used to open up, not necessarily speaking, but even by actions, behavior, and such. Right. Then there's also Hosea Moses says women are born, men are made.
What does that even mean?
All right. And there's somebody else also said that men go to their man cave. Now maybe quickly before we wind up, we have about 2 minutes. We can start with you, DNG. How then do men get out of that man cave, and your encouragement to men about talking as we wind up?
Well, firstly, it's just to create that safe space. I think that has been established, and the safe space I think is built with trust. If a man trusts a woman that this woman will not go and study the guy, this woman is not going to use this challenge against him in future, this woman is not going to expose him in public domain or in the family setup or whatever it may be, then the guy is going to open up. It's the same kind of rationale regarding why men find it very easy to open up amongst their peers, their boys who they've grown up with, they've done their shadow with. These are people who trust each other, they know each other's secrets, challenges, weaknesses, meaning that's why they open up in that kind of scenario. So trust is the key ingredient. Where trust is present, there shall be opening up. Without trust, hata try to trigger namna gani, msee atakwambia the full story. Nakwambia tu juju na imeisha hapo, so you don't really get to know the person for who he is and what he's doing.
Right, watch mambo ya encourage watu waende juju. Now Sinzi, what would you advise the women now that you've heard everything? Like Shata said, we are here to discuss.
Yeah.
How do you think? Well, I mean, advice about the women and then, because I mean it's something that everybody needs to.
Yeah. So, especially for the men, this thing of just bottling up, it doesn't help. You know, do what you need to do. Be like, open up. Whoever is going to talk after that, I am safe and my mental health is okay, because men face a lot of things. A lot, as much as we downplay and say women have issues, for sure men do have issues, a lot of them. So by the time you're getting to that point of thinking other things, before you get there, talk to someone and identify your safe space. It could be your sane people who are up there, more men who are sane than you. And for women, like what I've gathered, what I've gathered from here is figure out your partner. I think the most important thing is I am there. For someone to know that even if you're not talking, I got you. You know, that language of I got you, I walk, or just be there. I don't know, whatever else needs to be done. Remember, we're in Africa and we deal with things in a very not emotional way, but be there for someone. Even if it's just saying I'm there, then I think, yeah.
I'm there.
Yes,
all
I'm
right.
here.
If you need to talk. CJ, what do you think?
Well, I think the greatest pressure comes right from the families that people have grown up in. if a young boy expresses himself a lot, the family will be saying, this one normally behaves like a girl. They'll say it very lightly, but you see, seeds are being planted. Probably one will cry, people will be laughing at them. So there's a way that they begin to get affected in their development. They begin to feel that they need to suppress their emotional development if they're very expressive, if they're very open, and they begin to feel like that's not very manly. So they need to, you know, draw back into the cave. We've got to start this right from the families. Parents, do not mock your children. Yeah. You know, don't make fun of them when they are opening up. Some things that you just do jokingly really affect these people till later on. And don't allow other people to do it, whether it is your siblings who are coming in as uncles and aunts, you know, they make fun of the children, the house managers that we have, dealing with kids in a certain way, making fun of them, the kid is crying, then they mock, they actually ape how the kid is crying, the boy. We need to go away from those kind of stuff and begin to understand, where is this person at emotionally? Why do they express themselves the way they do? And build them up from that side, their personality, without trying to change them. Because these are the things that eventually later on show up in relationships, in the workplaces, show up in friendships where people don't trust anybody. They've been dealt with in a certain way all their lives, so they have trust issues, so they will always just feel like they need to bottle that up. Then you find this person nearly has two faces. There's who they are in public. Yeah. Then you find there's how they behave somewhere else, where they feel safe. And you will be like, I never knew Shatterboy was this kind of a person, but we did not give him the opportunity to be who he wanted to be. So he mastered how to be who we want him to be. Then somewhere else, we will discover there's a different Shatterboy right there. Yeah.
All right, Shatter.
Yeah, man. I think kitu poa ni ati wameongelea upbringing ya watu inafaa kuchange, which is true. Sasa mimi nataka kuongelea wale maboy already tuko hapa, tumegrow vibaya. Okay? Paja hatuja kuwa allowed kuwa na emotions zetu. Number one, mwanaume anafaa kujiunderstand that wewe ni binadamu. And there is nothing wrong with being human. When you are being emotional, it's not that your body is acting up or in a malfunction. You are just being human, and it is okay and it is allowed. You know, statistically it is said in matters suicide, madem ndo ujaribu sana suicide, but ya wanaume ndio kwa successful more, because men go to brutal ways, you get, in committing suicide. It's because a man una get that anger iko ndani yake to the point that he needs to be this brutal with himself. It is subtle down there, but a man is bitter with himself because he sees the world, he wants to open up, but he is not allowed to. Therefore, kama wewe ni mwanaume, it is okay to open up. Just get the right person. Pia usiende kwa the moment pia unajifungua unaanza kuongea na kila mtu hujamstudy juu yako aje, unajilimit kuongea next time juu ataenda kuongea vibaya. Get a safe space and the right person to talk to. Anytime uko na issue, usingoje zi bottle up zikuwe sasa mlima ndio uende kuanilishia mtu mmoja, pia yeye anaweza kosa kukusikiliza maana hiyo time. Ukiwa na issue unafeel unataka kuiongea, wewe iongee. Ile tu mademu du. Akiwa na issue leo, wewe iongee ishe. Ukiwa na kesho pia iongee. Usiseme ati ndazipile nita account ndaziongea December from January. Okay?
All right, Abu Sawa. So I guess thank you so much to DNG, Non-CZ, Shatter, and CJ. Make sure you follow DNG Kenya, Non-CZ, Agnes, Shatter _boy, CJ at across all platforms. A reminder for the men, ni kwamba mnafaa kuongea, msione kwamba ni kitu ya ajabu. Listen, mimi nimelia, mimi nimeenda therapy, mimi nimeongea na watu, I've sought help. So if I can do it, you can do it too. It is not a preserve of anybody. Kila mtu akona shida na kila mtu anafaa kuongea. So don't struggle, talk to somebody. If you feel you've reached the end of the road, remember every problem has an expiry date, but you need to talk to somebody you can trust. And if somebody has let you down before, even after you open up, not everybody is the same. You can still find that one person who you can talk to and can change your life. So, na Mungu pia anakupenda. Mimi husema hata kama leo vile unaniwatch kwa TV ya brothel, God still loves you and that will never change. Peace and love.